This is the Faith, Family, and Fundamentals with Fran podcast.
When God made you, no substitute. He made you yourself alone. So fearfully and wonderfully made to love and set the tone. Allow no one else to tell you what you can or cannot do. It is God who created, molded, and upgraded. To thine own self, you must remain true. Hey family, welcome to Faith, Family, and Fundamentals with Fran. Thank you for listening today. You are absolutely wonderful, unique, and the only you that God has made. So to thine own self, be true. Today, I want to remind you that God made you. He loves you, and there can never, ever be any substitute for you. As an educator, and especially during this age of ever-changing COVID demands, we experience teachers being absent for various reasons, and oftentimes we need and request substitutes, subs to cover or stand in for those absent teachers. But please know, and let it be known, that there can never be a substitute for you. After all, when God made you, when He formed you in your mother's womb, when He shaped your head and those beautiful eyes, He made none other like you. Yes, with all of the people in this world, and at times people strongly resemble one another, but God, El Shaddai, the God of more than enough, He made only one you, and there is no one that can truly be a substitute for you. Now, please do not twist my words into the belief that substitutes are insignificant or somehow invaluable, because that would be a grossly misguided characterization of my words. Thank God for substitutes, as it is never easy to enter a classroom filled with students who neither know you, nor do they expect business as usual, or to really listen to and complete directives from someone other than the certified, bona fide assigned teacher to the room. God bless all substitutes, as the position is not for the faint in heart. However, when a teacher is out, he or she is greatly missed, even if the students characterize it as a day off opportunity. I can recall being absent from my students for a 10-day quarantine last year after one of my students tested positive for COVID. Thank God he came through quite well. Now, God is so good that I did not test positive for COVID, but after being in such close proximity to the student, my quarantine was enacted as a safety precaution. I'm sure on day one, some of the students were pleased that I was absent. After all, I seldom take off or miss interacting with my students, and they know that there will be no shortage of work in my room. That was every day. A truth that has resulted in my students' successful performance on assessments, both standardized and otherwise, rather consistently. By day 3, I received texts from a few who inquired of my well-being, then demands to know when I would be back. Of course, I told students to enjoy the downtime, as they all knew upon my return there would be plenty of work and catch-up assignments to recoup lost time and instruction. But to my surprise, my students called me from my classroom by day 4, a bit annoyed with my absence. I was pleasantly surprised to learn that my children genuinely missed me, as they explained. The sub is giving work and she's all right, but she is just not you. We miss you because there is no substitute for you. No one can take your place, they said. The words caught me off guard because I just knew my children were enjoying some time to misbehave and take a break from work with the sub in my absence. I know it rings hollow to you, but to me it meant that they felt a real need for me. Many among my babies realized that anyone can come take roll, and even write assignments on the board. But no one, no matter how awesome or well-informed they might be, no one could take my place. Now, I am not telling you that to pat myself on the back, but rather to impress upon you that God made you so unique, so individually different, so beautiful, knowledgeable, and original, that there is none like you, not from the past, not in the present, nor will there ever be in the future. You are God's extraordinary handiwork, full of purpose that can only be brought forth by none other than you. Now, I am not so naive to believe that someone cannot do it better than me, but I do understand that there is no one who does it just like me. Right then and there, God allowed me the revelation that each person is in place where God would have each to be uniquely for purpose, on purpose, and with purpose. But the reality of such a revelation is He made only one you and only one me. So that makes each of us extremely rare and certainly irreplaceable. If you are a mother, who would be suitable or more suitable to step in and truly take your place? Who could love and nurture your children, your family like you? Who could make your babies feel more safe and secure and understood as you? No one. Because God made only one you to fulfill the purpose and most intimate role in which you fit and dwell perfectly. To my fathers, sir, there is no one, none other that could take your place. So stop saying or even believing she has replaced me. Because no man, no matter how big his shoes or his heart, no man can step in and love your child or your children like you. And there are some good men who would step in and step up to be there for your children. But please do not lose sight of the fact that none are you, could ever be you, and none can take Daddy's place. God made each of us so special, so singularly, that there is none other like you. You see, you are special and so rare that you cannot be duplicated. No replica could fool anyone into believing they're you. So if you were to become absent today or tomorrow, no matter how much someone looks or sounds like you, the real you would be greatly missed, because there is only one you. God only made the authentic, original, beautiful you that you are. His word said that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, not a cheap knockoff or a daunting duplicate, but authentically, unapologetically you. So then, it would behoove you, that means benefit you, to be yourself and no one else, and walk in the truth of who you truly are, because you are the only you that God has made you to be, and no one has the capacity, the mannerism, or the thought process to be you as well and as genuinely as you yourself. According to Jeremiah, the 1st chapter, 4th and 5th verses, then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. And before you came forth out of the womb, I sanctified you. And I ordained you a prophet unto the nations. In other words, God was telling Jeremiah that He Himself fully prepared Jeremiah with everything he needed to be the prophet that he was before he was even born. The message to each of us: you were never a mistake. I don't care what anyone says, because long before He formed you or formed us in our mother's womb, He cleaned and equipped us, each of us, to be who He called us to be. So every matter or trial that we might face today, God has already equipped us, as He knew what we would be up against in August and September of 2021. Yet He prepared us for such a time as this. You, my sister, And you, my brother, no matter where you are or what you must do, must never fear being your authentic selves, because the Spirit of the Lord will never place you where His grace cannot sustain you. You are fully equipped, and He has already endowed you with purpose that only you can bring, carry, or present. While you face challenge after challenge today, just know that God made you so fearfully and wonderfully authentic so that your gift will make room for you. Yes, I said your gift. As with all of your uniqueness, God has placed an intimate gift inside of you that is so uniquely yours that others, even if they tried, could neither replicate, duplicate, nor do with it what you do. Because as promised, your gift will make room for you, just for you. Room at the tables where so many don't even believe you're worthy to sit. Room to improve not only your life, but the lives of everyone attached to you. Room to break yokes that the enemy thought would never, ever be broken. Room to break generational curses that have so devastated and broken down individuals within your own family. But you being the you that God made you, the you that God called you to be, the you to whom you are true, He said your gift, not your mother, brother, sisters, not your cousin or friend's gift, but your gift. You're so important that your gift, which is unlike anyone else's, will make room for you. Now, I had to examine the term room, as it may mean different things to different people at different times in various diverse circumstances. But Google has described room as space, compass, extent of place, great or small, occupied or unoccupied, place for reception or admission of anything, unoccupied opportunity, an apartment in a house or ship, any division separated from the rest by a partition, as a bedroom, a parlor room, prayer room, study room, a seat, to open a way or a passage, to free from obstruction, to open a space or place for a person or a thing, to create or leave space for others to pass or just be seated. Thank God for His divine gift, that individual provision that will make room for you, as the room encompasses so many diverse additions. Thank God for the room. So I urge you to embrace all of the unique you that God made you, because that gift that He placed within you, the one that solidifies your unique self, will make room for you. In Genesis 1st chapter, the 27th verse, we are reminded God created man in His own image. In the image of God created He him. Male and female created He them. So just knowing that God created you should cause you to embrace yourself, exercising self-love for God's most precious creation, which brings us back to you having enough love for yourself to remain honest to yourself. In the telling words of William Shakespeare, to thine own self be true. Now allow me to point out that those words are words from a Shakespearean masterpiece, but the words still ring true. After all, God's word has advised us, the truth will make you free. Therefore, begin telling the truth to yourself first. Begin with the truth of who you are, what you know, and who God says you are. Accept the truth of your uniqueness and that God only created one you. He carefully molded you and specifically planned your rich existence as He tucked and hid deep within you a special gift that could only be activated by you. He said of you, you are fearfully and wonderfully made in His image and in His own likeness. Then He said, your gift, not the gift of any other, but your gift would make room for you. In God's word, we find God's plan as he indicates, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Accept who you are. We can all work towards making improvements, but be who you are and live the life that is pleasing to God. You are unique. You are an original who has been fearfully and wonderfully made. The people around you, especially those who are attached to you, they really need the unique, authentic, indisputable you. So accept the fact that the purpose, God's purpose on your life, is far greater than who you may want to be. So it would behoove you, it would benefit you to stand up and stand out in the purpose that God has placed within you for the benefit of you and all attached to you and for the glory of God. You are absolutely wonderful, unique, and the only you that God has made. So to thine own self be true. God made you so beautifully and wonderfully unique. So don't break down or lose your crown over others' harsh critique. Surely an important part of God's creation and his master plan. Keep living, believing, trusting him as the world is in his hand. Unique, individual, peculiar, royal, and children of God too. Friend, heir, special, chosen in his care. God's own words to describe you. Let no one else step in and deceive you or minimize your worth. God shaped, molded, and loved you before your day of birth. It was he who knew all that you would do and everything you'd need. So he endowed you with strength from on high and planted righteous seed. Allow no one to tell you, gift, or sell you all you cannot do. 'Tis God's strength from within that propels you, my friend. To thine own self you must remain true. There is only one you God created uniquely. Be yourself for his mercy and grace. No one else, dead or alive, could capture and thrive. None other could take your place. You are the only you that's chosen to do all that God chose you to perform. No duplicate or counterfeit could take your place, no matter how well informed. Accept all of who God said you are and all he said you would be. God made us for such a time as this, so be yourself for the whole world to see. Not for show, but for others to know God the Creator is God alone, who shares his love from a place above, represent his peace and passion shown. The glory of God that's bold and loud in all God placed within you. You are his masterpiece, so let all doubt cease. To thyself you must remain true. You are God's chosen heir, so have no fear. He planted within you a gift. Know who you are and his blessings never far. Praise his name and always uplift. He said your gift will make room for you. It's what makes you so different and unique. Be you and live the life, love on without strife. Then God's favor you never have to seek. Accept who God has made you, peculiar, separate, and apart. You are his gift to all the world, genuinely yourself, from deep within your heart. Be authentically you in the things that you do. Ensure God's heart and his desire. There is only one you, so to self remain true. God will keep you uplifted, encouraged, and inspired. Well, family, this is number 70 of Faith, Family, and Fundamentals with Fran. You are so beautifully unique, fearfully, and wonderfully made. Thank God he only made one of you, and he intends for you to be yourself, unapologetically true, and holistically embracing all of who God made you. Now, we can all work to improve ourselves in ensuring that we are aligned with God's word, as we are spiritual beings having human experiences, but trust and believe that you are God's gift to the world. Each time you try to be someone else, you negate your own uniqueness and the extraordinary individual that God made you to be. You work hard to reconfigure the rare phenomenon that God so lovingly created when he masterfully molded you in your mother's womb. Make no mistake, if you are no longer here today or tomorrow, you will be sorely missed because there is no other that can take your place. While someone may try to step into your space or your spot, there is none equipped to take your place because there is no substitute for you. You are a loving original, carefully created but never duplicated. A one and only that's you, so to your own self, remain true. I pray for each of you that you realize how beautiful, rare, distinct, special, and unimitable you truly are. God richly bless and keep each of you. Please don't forget to say something on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn page. You can listen to me on Amazon Music or YouTube. I welcome your questions, comments, critiques, and suggestions on topics you'd like to explore. Who knows, you might just end up being a guest on an upcoming broadcast. Remember, I'm just a regular girl navigating this diverse world. I'm looking forward to each of you. Until then, take care of yourself, each other, and stay blessed.
The Faith, Family, and Fundamentals with Fran podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Log on to castropolis.net.